You are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, Chitra Mataji, please start.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Mayapuran Pandal at Azad Maidan. Back in Bombay, I wrote Prabhupada. For so long, I have been serving so many masters, and my mental chariot has been carrying me from one body to another. But now I have found my perfect master, and I am jubilant to be engaged in your service. After our talks at the Kumbh Mela, I really feel that you are my best friend. I feel firmly convinced in my position as Krishna's servant, and I feel renewed strength and determination in my activities, knowing that so many of the ideas I had for spreading Krishna consciousness are actually Krishna's ideas, as confirmed by your divine grace. My absence from Bombay allowed others to assume responsibility. So I'm insisting that they continue as they have been doing. Actually, they have been doing nicely. I will advise them and concentrate on the preaching and overseeing your deity desires in all areas. I learned from the Kumbh Mela that I have to be prepared to do anything to see that your will is served. 3 days later, Prabhupada replied, yes, train the others in responsibilities in Bombay and go on as you are doing. I thought
So
back
one
to the
second,
day.
Mataji.
Hmm.
This reveals a very interesting dimension of spiritual master and disciple relationship. Because this is Giriraj Maharaj is writing to Prabhupada, and this particular part,
Yes.
right, where he is highlighting
Hmm.
that after because before this, if you remember, he had quite a few questions which he could not ask. But then when he went to Kumbh Mela, he got the chance to talk to Prabhupada and got them clarified, right? So
Hmm.
I feel firmly convinced in my position as witness servant, and I feel renewed strength and information activities, knowing that so many of the ideas I have learned actually Krishna to confirm the your divine grace. Then he is also telling this very important point. For so long, as I have been serving so many masters, and my mental chariot has been carrying me from one body to another. But now I have found my perfect master. I am jubilant to be engaged in your service. This gratitude is a very, very expressing our gratitude to the spiritual master is an important aspect of our devotional service. Many times we don't have the time to do that. We are busy engaged in service. But as we look back and see how much the mercy of the spiritual master and all our acharyas are flowing to us in so many different ways, right? If not for the spiritual master's mercy, if not for Prabhupada's mercy, um, how do we expect to have such sane association? Uh, when you come to
Hmm.
the temple, or when we have, prasadam, when we have kirtans together, when we go for yatras together, uh, imagine the same thing, doing the same thing with karmis or the materialistic people. It would be just simply chaos, wouldn't it? All we are going to get is like simply chaos and clashes of egos, and even within the devotee society there is clashes of egos. There are all those little politics, diplomacy and all are there, but then it is nothing compared to what's happening in the outside world. At least the fact that we are all serving Krishna and under the roof of Srila Prabhupada is keeping us united to a certain extent at least. But otherwise, there is no common ground. If you go outside world, you cannot find a common ground with everybody. So everybody will be in different things. All you can to survive in the outside world, you don't need. You don't really need to have good qualities. You just need to have some little talents. So if you are talented enough in certain area, if you are able to sell the talent, then you become a famous person, you become a wealthy person, whatever. If you are talented, if you are not able to sell, you will remain a poor person. And if you are not talented, but still you are somehow or other able to do some jumla and sell it, then also, then you can be a very famous person, whatever. So there, this finer fabric of qualities like humility, gratitude, honesty, um, surrender to Krishna, these are all, they are not required to succeed in the material world. This is from a karmic perspective, right? There are so many people who are like real debauchees in their daily life, but they are glorified like anything for their material achievements, isn't it? So compared to that situation, how much you are saved from that what you call that muddle and the complete cutter? How we are saved with Prabhupada? If it's so nice that Maharaj is actually reproducing his letter here. It's a letter that Giriraj Maharaj has written to Prabhupada, and he is he is actually sharing that. And I felt somehow these lines are very important. For so long, I have been serving so many masters. My mental chariot has been carrying me from one body to another. But now I have found my perfect master and I am jubilant to engage in service. Actually, this is somewhat akin to Bhishmadeva's first verse, the prayer, first prayer. Or I think even Prahlad Maharaj also expresses a similar sentiment. Um, you see, it's Prahlad Maharaj prayers it comes. Not in the prayer, but after the prayer, I think it comes. But Bhishma Dev's very first verse, 1932, if somebody can take it and read it in the meantime, 1932. He doesn't say, yes, in engaged with serving so many masters, but he says about how his mind was going everywhere and serving everywhere. Can somebody pick up that verse, 1932, and read just the translation?
Can I read it, Prabhu?
Sure, Prabhu, please.
Bhishma Deva said, "Let me now invest my thinking, feeling, and willing, which was so long engaged in different subjects and occupational duties, in the all-powerful Lord Sri Krishna. He is always self-satisfied, but sometimes, being the leader of the devotees, he enjoys transcendental pleasure by descending to the material world, although from him only the material world is."
Mm, Prahlad Maharaj is not exactly saying it that way. But in the prayers, I think it comes. The prayers says about how is the different senses are driving from everywhere. Mm. Mhm. Okay, you can take it as an activity to find out which verse in Bhagavatam covers that part of what Maharaj is saying, the first part which I highlighted. Okay, now, so this is a very important aspect. We need to have that conversation with the spiritual master. It need not be that the spiritual master should be present in front of us. We should have that conversation. Maybe you can stand in front of the picture of Maharaj and our spiritual master and speak. Or we can have a mental conversation, like a dialogue kind of a thing. Or we can write a letter when Maharaj, Maharaj, Musa Maharaj, our spiritual master left. These are all the things which we started doing. We started writing letters, writing letters in our in notebooks, the diaries. Or we look at Maharaj's picture and just gaze at him. Or we read some quote or thing, and then it will look like he is actually speaking to us. So it's a very important thing to express our gratitude in some way or other. You should not think it to be like, okay, this is only sentimental. How does it matter? I'm not anywhere doing anything. No. But the expression of gratitude is the seed to invoke the cosmos mercy of Guru and Krishna. If we are expressing our gratitude, then we will start acting on it. Our actions will follow that thought. It's not a mechanical expression of gratitude, but it's feeling. When you are expressing your gratitude with feeling, then definitely the confidence comes, a positive energy comes. Whenever we thank somebody, it's like, in one sense, if I have to say, suppose you owe somebody to something to somebody, right? You owe some money to somebody. That will always be sitting in our mind. But when somehow or other you clear it off, clear the debt off, how you will feel? Like once you clear the debt, you don't have to worry about it anymore, right? Suppose you have a EMI, you cleared the loan off, and then no more you have to pay. How will you feel? Very free, no? You feel very, very relaxed and free, right? Joyful, in fact, one sense. So this offer conveying our thanks, sorry, and all these things, these are all like our EMIs. We have to. The moment you say thanks to somebody or grateful to somebody, you will feel very happy. We will feel very happy that, oh, I said thanks. That positive feeling comes in, isn't it? Many times we can see that happening. We can experience it ourselves actually. But when we don't say those thanks and these things, only the ego starts building up, and we start thinking that, why should I say thanks to this person? After all, he has just returned, reciprocated to what I did to him. So he didn't say thanks when I did. So why should I say thanks to him when he does? Right? These kind of thoughts, these are all mental concoctions and mental tukas, we call it. So these all come. But those things should not be there. Like how Jagat Maharaj is expressing his heartfelt thing. I have found my perfect master and I am jubilant to be engaged in your service. This is how it should be. Our attitude towards serving the spiritual master should be in the same way that finally we found the perfect master. Because there is one subtle thing about the gratitude which you are talking about just a while ago. That when you say thanks to somebody, if that person uh, is capable of accepting the thanks, what does it mean by capable of accepting the thanks? Capable of accepting our gratitude. Capable of accepting our gratitude means uh, he should be humble enough to not uh, attach himself to it. Yes, yes, I did this help. That's why he is doing the gratitude. No, he should be detached enough from the gratitude. If that person is expecting you to be thankful, even after receiving that thanks, he will not be happy. And even after offering our thanks or gratitude to them, he will also not be happy. You understand? You get the point? Because if the other person is always expecting that you should be grateful to me, even after we say grateful, she will not say, okay, you are right. No, okay, fine. Finally, you came to the right path. Like that, he will be thinking, see, oh, why is he thanking me? I am not at all qualified. He will never think like that. You got me? Same way, but when the person is offering gratitude to the other person who is expecting that gratitude, when you are giving the gratitude, you only feel a sense of relief. Oh, finally, I thanked him. Now he will not blame me anymore that you are not thankful. Right? In other words, the other person is thinking that is qualified to receive that gratitude. And we are thinking that he is not. So that's the mismatch. Whereas when That is what somebody should be qualified to receive that gratitude. He should not receive it himself. He should think that this is all going to Guru and Krishna. So when that person is not attaching himself to that thanks, that gratitude, then it goes directly to Krishna. At that point, the person who is receiving the gratitude will also be happy. The one who is giving the gratitude will also be happy. Makes sense?
Yes, Prabhu.
That is why when we are thankful to our spiritual master, we feel very happy. Because the spiritual master doesn't own it. The spiritual master doesn't take ownership of that gratitude. He gives it back to his spiritual master, and that's why we want to be even more and more and more grateful to our spiritual masters, our devotees who are like that. Not only spiritual masters, any exalted Vaishnava who follows the same pattern of behavior. Any comments, questions here?
Prabhuji, I did not understand why is Giriraj Maharaj saying, for so long I have been serving so many masters. Is he talking about his previous lives?
Well, it can be even our senses. It can be even our mind. The very senses.
Okay.
There it is. It's exactly in Bhagavatam. It is there. I think. Tingala. Santam Samite Ramanavati Pradam Pitta Pradam Nityamimam Vihaya Akamadam Tukkabhayadi Shoka Moha Pradam Tuchamaham Bhajegnya. If you take that thing, 11th canto, I think 8th chapter, 9th chapter, Santam Samipe. Somebody is Santam Samipe is 11th canto, 8th chapter.
11 point.
11:831. Can somebody read the translation? 11:831.
Yeah, I am such a fool that I have given up the service of that person who, being eternally situated within my heart, is actually most dear to me. That most dear one is the Lord of universe, who is bestower of real love and happiness, and the source of all prosperity. Although he is in my own heart, I have completely neglected him. Instead, I have ignorantly served insignificant men who can never satisfy my real desires and who have simply brought me unhappiness, fear, anxiety, lamentation, and illusion.
This is what he's telling. She's telling Pingala, no? Because she's a uh, society girl by her profession. So she is waiting for those people to come and satisfy her. But then they don't care for her. So she's then feeling that I've been serving all these people with my body, my house, and my properties and everything, but when the time comes, they are not really doing it. Akamadam, dukkha, bhaya, adi, shoka. I mean, lamentation, illusion, fear, uh, all these things, disappointments, all these things. So this is the verse I think that is kind of referring to. Very, very beautiful, powerful verse. But Krishna is always within us. So completely neglected him. Who is the cause of all our love, happiness, all prosperity? Everything he is the one. Eternity, everything he is the one who's giving. Okay, some nice verses we have connected with. No, this is also Krishna personally. He is revealing all these verses. Okay, so this is the point which we wanted to talk about as we go along. Mataji, would you want to read further because you have to leave in a couple of minutes?
Yeah, somebody else can read, no problem.
Yes, Mataji. Okay. So yeah, after that, Prabhupada is responding to plain others the responsibility for what you are doing. He got the affirmation from Prabhupada. Okay, let's read further. Who wants to read now?
I'll read, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yes, Mataji, please.
Vijay Mataji, then followed by Kamalji Mataji.
So I'm supposed to start from 3 days later.
And
Yes, yes.
no, I thought that
3 days later.
3 days later, no? Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. I'll start. 3 days later, Prabhupada replied, yes, train the others in responsibilities in Bombay and go on as you are doing. I thought back to the day at the Kumbh Mela when Prabhupada had been surrounded by members of the media and the press, all asking same question, what is the significance of Kumbh Mela? And Prabhupada had answered that the real purpose was Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kai, Lavamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Hai. The verdict of all the revealed scriptures in that is that by even a moment's association with sadhu, a pure devotee, one can attain all success. Chaitanya
this is
Charitamrita,
the
Madhya Lila
revelation which we
22.54.
this is what we also learned last time also in the reading. Prabhupada has given a beautiful revelation to this Kumbh Mela, right? Sadhu Sangha, Shaiva Sangha. It's all the main aim is to have Sadhu Sangha. What an amazing revelation. Because otherwise people will just say, I go bathe and then get purified of my sin and come back. No, that is not the main reason. Hmm? The main reason is Sadhu Sangha. Even now, because Kumbh Mela has just started, it's such a nice coincidence that the time we are reading this same section. In fact, the Kumbh Mela which Prabhupada attended is 144 years old, it's a real Mahakumbh Mela. Now it is the 20 years old of Kumbh Mela. Still, it is a Kumbh Mela. In fact, it's very, very significant one. Because by the time next
Prabhuji,
Kumbh Mela is
if
there,
you,
yes.
Prabhuji, this other people are saying that this is also after 144 years. I mean, that is what
I
they
don't know.
usually saying.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know, but this we have to find out because in 1977, if it is said that it is that 144 wala, then it should not have. This should not have been the. I don't know, Mataji. Whichever way it is, they are calculating.
Yes.
So, but still, whatever it is, it gives us an opportunity to serve for sadhu sangha and everything. Such nice things are happening. We had last 3 days, nice temple opening of ISKCON Kargar. And I was just listening to Narendra Modi's speech just before our session started, before. Such an amazing thing. He's a natural preacher. He is glorified so beautifully. You should actually hear that because he's mixing very nicely our bhakti and the Sanskriti so nicely, and he's building up how it also helps the country and the nation or the world to be together. You know? Really nice understanding, and he glorifies Prabhupada like anything, and he glorified as well as Gopal Krishna Maharaj like anything, and he was glorifying about our Bhagavad Gita. He quoted from Bhagavad Gita also. Some slokas he also quoted from Bhagavad Gita. In the 17th chapter and all that. 18th chapter, 17th chapter about the charity in the mode of goodness. That one he was referring to that shloka. And he's not looking at any page and listing the notes and all. He just spontaneously speaking. And he glorifies Prabhupada from the heart, ISKCON, Prabhupada and everything. So amazing. About 25 minutes it is. Really nice to hear uh, that particular speech. And he's not speaking like a politician, he's speaking like proper bhakta. So nice, really. And he is really bhawuk. He was really emotional about his connection with Gopal Krishna Maharaj. He was referring to at least 4 or 5 points he made about it. Really nice. So the reason I brought it up that this Kumbh Mela thing and this temple opening, all these nice things are happening. We should take advantage. It's all about sadhu sangha. And why do you have the temple constructed? For sadhu sangha. To please the Lord through association, through congregational chanting and kirtans and so on. So, very nice, beautiful revelation the Prabhupada has given us. Okay, now, okay, so, one second. So after Prayag, actually Prabhupada has gone to Mayapur. But in the meantime, Sriraj Maharaj has come back to Bombay. And from there only he receives the letter and sends a letter. And after 2 weeks almost, Mataji, why don't you start, continue reading?
Okay. After 2 weeks in Bombay, I proceeded to Mayapur to join Srila Prabhupada and the other devotees for the festival. Although Prabhupada had been unwell when he had left the Kumbh Mela, I had hoped that he would recover his health in Bhuvaneshwar. But in Mayapur, I saw how sick he was, and my concern and anxiety over his health increased. His condition had worsened considerably. He was no longer able to climb stairs on his own strength. His disciples had to carry him up on a chair, and one day he collapsed and almost fell off the stage as he was stepping down. He was already more than 80, and he couldn't help but wonder what might happen. Despite his
So
illness,
this is all.
however,
So this is all around the January, February time frame, right? That's like about 9 months before Prabhupada's actual departure. So almost a year, Prabhupada has been really sick. Yes.
Despite his illness, however, Prabhupada carried on with a basic schedule. The JBC members began their annual meetings, and after each day's session, they submitted their proposals to him in his room for his amendment and approval. When they voted to replace the temple president of Calcutta, Prabhupada said, "So you have all agreed? If you have agreed, I have no objection." But when Rameshwar admitted that they hadn't discussed the decision with the person concerned to find out his feelings, Prabhupada said, "So do that. Before posting it, it should be discussed." Tamal Krishna said, "His feelings should not be." No, Prabhupada agreed. Everyone should remain in jubilation. That is wanted. You cannot make depressed. That is not good. Later that
Amazing
day, a
statement.
few
Huh? This particular statement is very, very powerful. How Prabhupada is concerned about even everybody to be in jubilation. Even if they are wrong, they are having some ill feelings or some bad thoughts, still Prabhupada wants them to be in jubilation. You cannot make anybody depressed by your action or by your words. It's not good. Yes, please continue.
later that day, a few leading devotees came to see Prabhupada. "So, your GBC meeting?" he inquired. "They are going quickly," Hridayanand replied. "There was no fight, just a little fight." "Don't fight," Prabhupada said, chuckling. "Then everything will be spoiled." Not, not very much fight this time, Hridayanand assured him. It was more peaceful than before. Prabhupada laughed. "Yes, for Krishna's business, why there should be. Even if there is fight, it should be mock fight, not real fight. Then it is all right. Most of the fights
Mark
aren't
fight, huh?
personal.
Prabhupada is really sweet. Hmm.
Most of the fights aren't personal. Gargamuni said they are just differences of opinion. That will go on, Prabhupada acknowledged. Then majority vote, then it's decided. What can be done, he concluded, with great force. Preach Krishna consciousness. When I went to meet Prabhupada,
This is really nice, no? Uh, he concluded great for speaking. Actually, Prabhupada is not in favor of this voting thing, and all, but he had to. There is no other option left, right? Left to do that. When I mean, in a democracy thing, that's the only thing that works. That's the process, really. So even now, there are so many decisions that are being taken based on voting. Some may be against it, some may not be. Some may be not. Some may be for it. So it has to go somehow or other in one day. Right? So Prabhupada said the only option is great post these Krishna practices. Mhm. Amazing. Yes. So Kamali Mataji, would you like to take over?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Okay.
When I went to meet Prabhupada the next day, he inquired about various practical matters in Juhu, including the tenants, whether any were vacating and whether any were creating difficulties. I informed him that none were planning to vacate soon and that the pending court cases against the illegal occupants were bogged down in the judicial system. The tenants are gaining more and more respect for us, I added. After all, he said, they are human beings. Yes, I agree. They see the book distribution, the construction, and the time factor that we are all still pushing on not going away. There are many factors. They see that prominent people are also appreciating our activities. Actually, our movement is all encompassing. I have seen from Swarupa Damodara that we can dress up your teachings in different garbs and present them to anyone and they will be convinced unless they are very envious. Ironclad demons, they will remain. But but innocent people, they can be convinced. I broached the subject of the Pandal program I was arranging for Prabhupada in Bombay. One thing I am concerned about for the Pandal is that many of these leading personalities would want to meet your divine grace, I told him. But at the same time, it might be very strenuous for you to come from Juhu every day. Not every day, Prabhupada said. The other alternative, I continued, would be to arrange a place closer to the Pandal, but then it would have to be with a member like Kartikeya or someone. That is near Pandal, Kartikeya's house. It's about a 15 or 20-minute drive. That is also good. If your health permits and if you could come every day, we could arrange leading people for all of those days. Yes, yes. And it would enthuse them. Yes, Prabhupada said. Bombay is good place for propaganda, for making any movement popular. Yes, people are modern and advanced there. Devotees everywhere were concerned about Prabhupada's poor health, and 2 days later, Tamal Krishna presented him a proposal. Srila Prabhupada, we were wondering one time when you were ill in Vrindavan, you requested that the devotees in our temples around the world could chant Kirtan all the time, 24 hours, till you recover from your health. So the BBC was wondering whether we could request again for that. Yes, Jai, tomorrow. Uh, Bhava
Bhavashadachinottara Manobhirama.
Manobhirama. This is the real remedy for any disease. Very good idea. Prabhupada was quoting Srimad Bhagavatam 10.1.4. Descriptions of the Lord are the right medicine for the material disease. He had referred to the same verse in a letter to me when I was sick in Calcutta in August 1971. If you are feeling tired, you may take rest. Your body is very valuable. It is dedicated to Krishna, so you must take care of the body very carefully. The best medicine is to rest and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra along with the doctor's prescription. The Hare Krishna mantra is Bhavaushadhi, the panacea for all material disease. On Gaura Purnima, March 5th, Prabhupada gave first initiation to more than 200 disciples and second initiation to
One
another
minute, Mataji.
on
Uh, 1 minute. I'm just reading this in a little different way. The best medicine is to rest and chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra along with the doctor's prescription.
doctor's prescription, yes.
It's only asking us to chant the doctor's prescription, not take the medicine and have it. Chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra along with the doctor's prescription. So you just chant it. So say, whatever he is giving.
So
And then don't
prescription also we need to only chant, not buy the
chant.
medicines and take.
That's what I'm saying. You just have to chant. Don't buy it. Don't go and buy it from the doctor. Interesting.
You should follow doctor's prescription or no, Prabhuji?
Which one, Mataji? Who is asking?
I'm asking Prabhuji, so are we supposed to follow doctor's prescription or just go and take the prescription?
Ideally speaking, you don't even have to go. But if you go, you just get the prescription, chant it once, and go back to chant direction also.
No, Prabhuji,
Unless
during like
something it is really
marathon and all, we
severe,
go to different location. So the health really becomes disturbed. So that time, if we simply sit and chant, we won't be able to do our service also in that case.
well, if we have that faith and do it, it will work, Mataji. If we have that faith in Bhagavatam, it should work. But when we say that it will not work, that it means that our faith is not fully there. So we should not, when the faith is not there, there are only two options. One is you gain the faith or you act at the level of your faith. Right? So if you're not able to get that full faith, then you just take the medicine and carry on. But then you will have to face the reactions of that. You cannot escape. Okay. So that
So the
is
service
where
also get affected, no, Prabhu?
many times. Sorry.
The service also gets affected, no?
Well, service gets affected when we are not able to, accept it as actual situation, accept it as it is. I was surprised. Even now, if I think of it, those 45 days I was traveling to all the places. Like I went to Hyderabad, Pune, then Delhi, Vrindavan, back to GV, and then Mira Road, and then finally one big chakra I did and came. Throughout that entire 45 days, my throat was completely gone. I was completely sick. And three times I got fever in between. And all are like, very temperature increase and all those things. But as I look back at it, I was doing everything possible within my capacity to get this thing out, but I did not take a single medicine. I did not go to doctor even once. Even when I had a fever, I didn't go to doctor. In fact, in GGV, I had the most severe fever because I was in JC all during that entire session. My temperature shot up, and I couldn't take anything that day, that night. And I was all alone all alone in the sense in GV. Other devotees were there, but they didn't know about the severity of my thing. And luckily, my next door is in the Gokul cottage, where I was there. After that, when I moved to Mahavan, one day I stayed in Gokul. So there, the next door is my one of the participants in the seminar, and Mataji herself is a doctor. And she immediately went and found out some tablets, and she brought it. And then she brought some soup or all those things. I was literally feeling my whole body was hot, and I was just using that cloth to wet it with the water and put it on my head to remove the temperature from there. I got the medicine from her, but Krishna really helped me that it was Ekadashi day, so I didn't want to take the medicines. So I kept the medicines aside, and I just did this heat thing. Using the wet cloth to take the thing out. And by morning, I was quite all right. Like this, three times it happened throughout the journey, along with my continuous throat issues and my voice was not coming out properly. Somehow or other, I managed the whole thing. But when I came back, I just thought, normally this is not possible. Only by Krishna's mercy this is possible. Only by Guru's mercy it is possible. The one thing that we have to take is that we should take we should take a little vow, or we should be determined that I don't want to take these medicines as much as possible. I try to avoid the medicines as much as possible. Then slowly, Krishna gives us uh, the, uh, the capacity to survive the illness and that all these things come through without any help of any medicines and other things. So that is my personal experience. The others also will have a similar thing. So somehow or other, when we have some illness, even to just 1 week ago, I was having some little feverish illness, whatever. At that time also, somebody told you take Dolo and some that I didn't take. I said it's all perfectly fine. I just live by it, and if whenever the disease, the illness has to go, it will go. So I can share this as my personal experience. And in Rajkot also, when the Shri Prahlad International School was there, it was there. The one thing that Maharaj will teach them all is first thing after they chant the prayers, Mangalacharya prayers, and all that before going to the assembly prayers, before going to the classes. In the end, they will all say very loudly, they will shout, "No, medicine is the best medicine," and then they will go back. That is their Mahamantra. Every day Maharaj will say, "No, medicine is the best medicine." They will loudly shout, and then they will go. They didn't know what they're saying. So, very nice. Okay, so we will continue reading. Amalima was reading that.
Yes, Prabhu. On Gaura Purnima, March 5th, Prabhupada gave first initiation to more than 200 disciples and second initiation to another 100. He was too ill to give a talk or even chant on the new initiation beads. So he had some of his sannyasi disciples chant on the beads for him. Many brahmacharis were begging to be given sannyasa, but Prabhupada said it had simply become a fashion to enter the renounced order. In response to his concerns, the GBC drew up guidelines for candidates, including a 1 year waiting period and a further 1 year proving.
So this is a very this is an important point to note because at that time during Prabhupada that last 5 years, especially 4 5 years, a lot of them are taking sannyas. Like almost many devotees, no, they were all sannyasis for like say 6 months to 1 year time frame. Whatever. They just took sannyas because everybody was taking, they were also taking, or maybe whatever. After some time they couldn't hold it, so they took Prabhupada. In fact, after Prabhupada left, many of them gave back. I mean, gave back on the sannyas, gave up on the sannyas. So this is the natural because it's sannyas is not such a easy thing. It takes lots and lots of effort to maintain that ashram. Because it's the most difficult ashram. It should be renounced. From outside, it looks like, oh, it's a nice family, nothing you have to do. You just have to speak Krishna and do some tickets and chanting, whatever. Then you will survive. No. Maharaj used to say, sannyas is the most difficult thing. You have to just live with the four walls. They will be your companions. Nobody will be with you. You will have some illness or you will have some need for something. You want prasadam. Nobody will be there. You have to really survive by yourself. So I have seen some sannyasis who are literally uh, so independent in the sense that they would not even want personal servants, and they live by themselves. And which is such an amazing experience to be with them. Huh? That's an amazing thing too. That's an amazing experience too. So let's continue further.
Huge crowds poured into our site, heard the talks and kirtans, saw the exhibits, and enjoyed the prasada. Some devotees took advantage of the throngs of people to distribute Prabhupada's writings, and though most of them were from Europe and America and didn't know Bengali, they managed to hand out many small books. Prabhupada decided to stay in Mayapur rather
So
than
so
proceed.
so this is where is this now? This huge crowd.
This is Mayapur.
Right.
Bombay or my Bombay? Because here it is said that Giriraj Maharaj had arranged this thing that my Pandal program in Mayapur.
Actually,
Bombay
Gaur Purnima time Prabhupada is in Mayapur.
is still in Mayapur. Okay.
Yeah. And the GBC annual meetings are also happening in Mayapur. So
Mayapur,
it is
yes,
Mayapur.
Prabhupada
Okay, let's
decided to
continue.
stay in
Prabhupada decided.
Mayapur. Yeah, here it comes. Prabhupada decided to stay in Mayapur rather than proceed to Vrindavan with the devotees for the second part of the festival. And soon Mayapur was quiet again, with only few visiting devotees. 2 weeks later,
Imagine those days Mayapur was like, in fact, Vrindavan was more crowded almost, but then Mayapur was not so much because we saw small things that time, those days. Yes.
2 weeks later, news of the favorable New York court decision appeared across the front page of the Times of India, and Tamal Krishna read it out to Prabhupada in his room. Hare Krishna movement is bona fide religion. Washington, March 18. The Hare Krishna movement was called a bona fide religion yesterday by the New York High Court Justice threw out 2 charges against the officials of the movement of illegal imprisonment and attempted extortion. The charges had been proffered by the angry parent that his son, as well as another disciple, had been held by the movement illegally and that they had been brainwashed. The
Interesting, no?
entire
Even after 4 or 5 decades, still recently also the same issues came up and our devotees had to explain clearly. Yes, please continue.
the entire and basic issue before the court, said the justice in dismissing the charges, is whether the 2 alleged victims in this case and the defendants will be allowed to practice the religion of their choice. And this must be answered with a resounding affirmative. Does anybody else want to continue?
Yeah,
Prabhuji?
anybody wants to read? Gaurav Prabhu.
May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Chandrapati Prabhu, please go ahead.
We have to read from here, said Mr. Justice from here.
Said Mr. Justice John Lee.
Said Mr. Justice John Leahy, the Hare Krishna movement is a bona fide religion with roots in India that go back thousands of years. It behooved Merrill Crashover and Edward Safrio to follow the tenets of that faith, and their inalienable right to do so will not be trampled upon. The separation of church and state must be maintained. We must remain a nation of laws, not of men. The presentment and indictment by the grand jury was in direct and blatant violation of the defendant's constitutional rights. The justice said that it appeared to the court that the people rest their case on an erroneous minor premise to arrive at a fallacious conclusion. The record is devoid of one specific allegation of a misrepresentation or any act of deception on the part of any defendant. The justice said, the freedom of religion is not to be abridged because it is unconventional in beliefs and practices, or because it is approved or disapproved by the mainstream of society or more conventional religions. Without this proliferation and freedom to follow the dictates of one's own conscience in this search of approach to God, the freedom of religion will be a meaningless right as provided for in the Constitution.
Beautiful
Any
statement, huh? Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
Any attempt, be it circuitous, direct, well-intentioned or not, presents a clear and present danger to this most fundamental basis and eternally needed right of our citizens, freedom of religion. The Hare Krishna movement has been under pressure from various groups, and this judgment is expected to stop some of the harassment in which it has been subjected in recent months. Now we have got a sound position, Prabhupada said. I think it. Yes, Tamal Krishna agreed. Hare Krishna movement is bona fide religion. He laughed and said, you couldn't pay for an advertisement as this could. Now my mission
This
is
is a free
successful.
advertisement for us. No?
Prabhupada proclaimed in 1965, I went there and this is now recognized after 12 years. I was loitering in the street. Nobody cared for me. Alone carrying the books. Now organize Bombay as our headquarters and New York as sub office or headquarters in America. You can see that the Bombay newspaper is better than these Calcutta papers. Tamal Krishna said, oh yes, certainly. Thinking of the Bombay Pandal program, Prabhupada asked Swarup Damodar, so you are also coming to Bombay? Yes, Srila Prabhupada. But our most auspicious sign is this, Hare Krishna movement is bona fide religion. This is preceding your arrival in Bombay, Tamal Krishna said. It's announcing your coming, practically, very prominent. And Prabhupada agreed. Yes, I found that in Bombay there is a good scope, Swarup Damodar added, referring to the potential for spreading Krishna consciousness there in scientific terms. Oh yes, Prabhupada said. Organize Bombay as the center of your activities. Especially when our big hall is finished, we can hold several lectures, daily or at least twice weekly. We shall hold lectures and call all scholarly people to understand. Do it nicely. Let us go there and organize. At least for 1 month, we shall remain there. Let us organize. A lot of the senior devotees are still there. Tamal Krishna, and they have gone from here to Vrindavan, and now they are in Bombay, waiting for your coming. Therefore, I am going, Prabhupada said. In spite of my so many inconveniences, I am going there. You want to stay in Bombay until, is there any date? Tamal Krishna asked. I don't want to stay anywhere. I want to work.
Crazy, huh?
I have stayed in big palaces, big cities. That is now complete. I have no other desire. How long do you want to work in Bombay? So long as there is work. There is no end of it. Our Bombay should be organized. Work is our life. There is no question of how long, as long as possible. Krishna is giving us good opportunities. Now we should take it seriously. It is not joke. Hare Krishna movement is bona fide religion. Very, very important decision. Tamal Krishna said. This judge is a senior man in the courts, very old and conservative, but I think he is sincere. Yes, he is God believing. This statement that he makes at the end, that any attempt, be it circuitous, direct, well-intentioned or not, presents a clear and present danger to this most fundamental basis and eternally needed right of our citizens. Eternally needed rights, freedom of religion. So we should send him a letter of congratulations. May God bless you for such right judgments. Live a long life to serve God. Now work very strenuously. Prabhupada instructed the devotees. You are all young men, and somehow or other, a dead horse you have given life. Otherwise, the last fortnight I was thinking, I am dead now. I was thinking like that. Now life is finished. Life can be finished at any time. That is not wonderful. To live, that is wonderful. If my life is finished, you want to say something, Prabhuji?
No, you continue. It's just smiling.
If my life is finished,
Life can be finished and there's not a thing. Leave that level. What is that? You were telling this thing. He said work is like, yeah, now what's seriously? So something. Just talking about this thing. Anyway, you carry on.
life can be finished at any time. That is wonderful. That is not wonderful. To live, that is wonderful. If my life is finished, that is not wonderful. Nobody will lament. Oh, he was old man, 82-year-old. But if I can live for some days more, that is wonderful. If I died, that is not wonderful. Krishna is wonderful, Tamal Krishna said. Krishna is wonderful always, and you are wonderful. Bhavanand added. I am wonderful so long as I serve Krishna. Otherwise, useless, no value. If I can serve Krishna, then I am wonderful, certainly. We don't want to become cheap wonderful. We want to become really wonderful by serving Krishna. That is our mission. Krishna is wonderful, undoubtedly. Who can become more wonderful than Krishna's? Matta Partara Nanyat. Always remember, Krishna is wonderful. Don't take Krishna very slightly, like one of you. That is foolishness. Krishna is wonderful always. He is the most wonderful person, and he can do anything wonderful. He can also give wonderful Guru. Swarup Damodar said, yes. Guru Krishna Kripa Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. It is Krishna's wonderful mercy that one can get Guru. Guru Krishna Kripa Paye. Don't forget for a moment or think that Krishna is insignificant. He is always the most wonderful. He can do anything, whatever he likes. This is a fact. You may believe or not believe. Who cares for you? Fact is fact. And appreciating that Krishna is wonderful makes one perfect. You know that story, that cobbler and Narad Muni. Yes, Tamal Krishna said. The cobbler believed, yes, Krishna is wonderful. And Narad Muni immediately certified, yes, your salvation in this life is guaranteed. The cobbler has his conviction. Yes, Krishna is wonderful. Krishna can do anything. Krishna can draw an elephant through the hole of a needle. Why not? It's possible. That faith made him perfect. If Krishna is not wonderful, is it possible for me to do all these things? What am I? The senior devotees around Prabhupada felt that he was too ill to travel and that he should stay in Mayapur and recuperate. And Surabhi's name after Prabhupada awarded him sannyas. Saurabh's name after Prabhupada awarded him sannyas. Wanted more time to finish Prabhupada's quarter in the new town in Juhu. So he wired Prabhupada and requested him not to come yet. But I had been arranging the Pandal program for Prabhupada at Azad Maidan in central Bombay, and I was appealing to him that he should, on March 16, I sent him a telegram. Your room is ready. Pandal beginning 23rd evening. City accommodation arranged. Chief Minister, Mayor, High Court Judge, other dignitaries attending earnestly request your presence for this glorious event. Health permitting, Giriraj Das.
We'll stop with that. It's also 9 o'clock. Any thoughts, any discussion points?
Prabhuji, just I
Very
want to share.
beautiful absorbing section we read today. Relevant to the situation also, Mahakumbh is there and Prabhupada's Kumbh Mela, and then he is going to Mayapur and then he's not coming. After that, he'll be going back to. Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I just left for us because we are reading some 15 minutes, our Guru Smranam book. And the first point which we discussed in the beginning of the lecture, that was about gratitude we give to the master, and spiritual master should give it to the to glorify to the Lord. So same thing was mentioned in this book also of Guru Smranam, wherein Radhanath Maharaj was like not accepting any glorification. He was just giving it to Srila Prabhupada. So I just remembered. I thought I should say this over here.
Amazing. See how the context is.
Yes. It was wonderful.
It is all Krishna's arrangement, It's the super soul who is making us read this specific section and trying to bring that point out. Then somewhere else also it's happening. There also the same super soul is there. So he knows what we are reading. So suddenly there's some point which is really sticking to our mind. He'll be meditating on it and we go there and Krishna will supply that thing somewhere. So with everybody, this happens. This happened in the past. All of us have experienced it. Yes. Thank you. So this is a very beautiful absorbing section, especially the Kumbh Mela thing, and then now because it's these last 10 months are going to be really, really intense. Maharaj had taken enough time to bring the whole thing in front of us, the whole scene in front of us. So for some it will be very painful to read. About spiritual master, you have to hear everything. There's nothing like good, bad, and right? So thank you very much, Prabhu's Mataji, for joining in. We hope you all had a wonderful Makara Sankranti Pongal holidays. Feels like why don't we just take 2 more days off and make it a full week, because in Chennai, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're going to have a Kirtan Mela also here. And so many nice programs are happening everywhere. So we pray that we all keep getting together and somehow or other the religion glorify focus transcendent qualities and our nature section also. Mhm. So stop here. We will discuss further in our next section as we go further in this particular. Okay. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Jai
you, Prabhu.
Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.